Hello guys, this is Rahul here and welcome to my course AI System Design and MLOps. Here you will be getting raw data and you will be finally packaging them into that AWS Kubernetes when it's completely done with that MLOps system. So this is the entire gist of this entire problem statement, and that is how you will be solving in layered architecture step by step. When I say layered architecture, that means you will get to see layer by layer of the problem statement, and then you will be solving each layer with the meaningful algorithm which you will be applying over here. So here in the on screen, I am talking about 90% of ML models fail in production, and not because of accuracy, because they never reach the production. So let's fix that. And how do you do that? Because many of the models which you see is, stuck in notebook level itself, which I have seen in my experience. Like many guys, get started with their, ML journey, but ever since they start, they don't find the right direction to convert their ideas, which they are writing in terms of ML, into the notebooks, right? There it's in their machine, it's running fine, but they are unable to connect the dots to the next level. And that is where it fixes the problem. And that is where when I come here to, solve this. So this is how you will be, starting with with me this particular journey. So you will be starting obviously from raw CSVs, and then you are applying sense to that, with the SQL, which you will be applying all kind of analytics, whether it's operational or financial. Every bit is going to be analyzed over there, and then of course you will be doing this EDA analysis over there. Then it comes to the DVC journey, and then once this is all pieces done, right, models and everything is done, then it comes to this fast API journey, where you will be creating an API which can be consumed by any third party system. And then you will be putting this behind Gradio. Gradio is again a UI app which can be quickly developed from Python libraries, right? So you will be seeing all these pieces, right, with me, right? And in this particular entire journey live with me, this is 14 hours, of course, and you will be definitely enjoying that. Finally, as a cloud provider, like here I have chosen AWS, right? And every package solution is going to be packaged inside a cloud ready solution. In this case, it's going to be AWS. Then you will be also having in this journey, you will be applying plethora of tools, by the way, right? And this is the few of the MLOps tools which I have listed over here in this particular slide, which you can see here. So right from the experiment tracking from MLflow to DVC, where is the data versioning comes into the picture, pipeline orchestration will come. Then you have this model deployments, where in, Docker and Kubernetes will come. Like you will be packaging this in a way, like, so it can be, put together in ECR, then it can be consumed with the EKS from AWS perspective. And during the journey, you will be doing this complete CI/CD packaging with GitHub Actions, and then via which only you will be putting this inside this AWS infrastructure. So this is that entire bit which you will be doing with me in this 14 hours of journey live with me. Now, having said that, it is very important to understand what business case you guys are solving here, whether it is making sense or not. This is the very first question you should ask before investing in any of these courses which is there in the market. The very first thing I like to tell you here, like the data which I have got here is from hospital, right, which is the real world data, which is of around 55,000 rows, wherein you will be having, patients data, billing data, and claims data. On that data set, you will be solving this business problem to do the healthcare risk prediction. That means whether this risk for a patient is low risk, medium risk, or high risk. That means if this patient deserves to get allocated a ICU, or he can be discharged in a half an hour time. So these kind of clinical prediction we will be doing here with that data set. Then comes to the insurance claim analysis, which is pretty important. Many a time it happens that hospitals are submitting that claims to that insurer, and that is getting rejected. So what is the probability of rejection? Why is this getting rejected? What is the pattern of that? So if hospital get to know all these patterns before submission itself, right, so then they can fix these issues before time itself, so that claim cannot be rejected, and at the same time patient can be benefited, right, rather than again submitting and waiting for the claim to be approved again, right? So this is the main thing. Then we have this patient readmission prediction. So let's say if any patient is having certain ailments which is kind of recurring stage, so based on that data analysis you can also predict like when that patient can that particular problem is going to reoccur or relapse again. Based on that you can put some kind of advisory to that patient that you should be visiting us again in 3 or 6 months of time, and based on that you can track as well. Then we have this fraud detection in claims, which is again right whether it's a fraudulent claim which is submitted or is a legit claim which is getting submitted. So there's that analysis which you will also be doing. And of course, the gist of this entire story is the cost optimization, which means like whenever you are doing any business analysis, right? So this entire mathematical, set and exercise which you are doing is for cost optimization itself, and seeing that whether this entire investment is making sense to that hospital. Is this yielding any more business to the hospital or saving money to the hospital, and at the same time it's becoming consumer friendly in a way like that their claims are getting settled at once itself, right? So this is entire win-win situation for both, like from customer and hospital both. Now comes to my experience, which is all about me. So overall, I am having 18 plus of years of experience, IT experience. I'm principal architect, and 7 times Microsoft MVP. And overall, I have trained around 48,000 plus students and counting. And I have been teaching, since 5 6 years, and I love teaching, by the way. And this is my passion, and that is why I strive to teach in a more innovative way, which you guys think that it is making sense to you guys, because I take inputs from you guys only, and based on that I come up with these courses and write these courses in that way which makes sense to each and every student of mine. Now, coming to my academics, I'm an alumni of IIT Madras, and as I said, like I'm principal architect, so I am looking after Bupa Healthcare, which is where that is where I am building these kind of ML agents, ML models, and also doing the application development, which is cloud first piece. Having said that, let's get started with this exciting journey.